Hi, it's Dave Hilgendorf. Welcome back to the video series, Now What? Life After Promise Keepers. Today in video 8, we're going to try and cover all the relationships you have in your life that we haven't covered up to this point. I want to start by talking about the difference between priority and partiality. Prioritizing your relationships is biblical, and I believe is a good thing. In the Bible, we are told to love everyone, but we're also given some guidance as to which of our relationships should take priority. For example, although we are commanded to honor our father and mother, in Genesis 2 verse 24 we are also told, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Once we are married, our relationship with our wife is to be prioritized over that with our parents. Proverbs 27:10 says, "Do not forsake your own friend or your father's friend, nor go to your brother's house in the day of your calamity. Better is a neighbor nearby than a brother far away." This verse tells me that God has placed friends in our lives that are nearby, that can meet a need, and as a result they should be prioritized over a brother who is not near, nor available to be there for us in the same manner. While biblically prioritizing when it comes to relationships is a good thing, partiality is not. My understanding of partiality is when we have a bias or a preference for one person or thing over another, so much so that it clouds our judgment. One example of partiality in Scripture is the story of Joseph, where Jacob was partial toward his son Joseph over his other children. This partiality led to Joseph's brothers envying him and nearly killing him, then selling him into slavery. Now God worked good through that bad situation, but the way Jacob favored Joseph was not a good thing. Let's talk a little bit about our extended family. Most of us have extended family still alive with various levels of connection, dependent on a number of factors, including where we live. These connections can be very emotional and strong, particularly if there's conflict between what another family member might think about how we're living our lives versus how we think about it. One thing that's unique about these extended family relationships, as opposed to many of our friendships, is that they are by definition permanent relationships. We can't change who our parents and siblings are. But you might wonder why I'm taking the time to talk about these various relationships. The main reason I'm doing so is that, at least for some of you, your extended family members might not relate well to you going to Promise Keepers, or to being excited about making some new choices about your relationship with Jesus Christ. Some of these family members may be non-believers, but some of them may be Christians who just have different beliefs and different ways of approaching their faith, different ways of worshiping. One mistake I made was to try and force onto my extended family some of the ideas and attitudes that we've been discussing in this video series, and frankly it didn't go well. Feelings were hurt and some damage was done. I'm not saying you should hide your faith from your family or anyone else, and honestly I know that every situation is different, so I'm not trying to tell you what to do exactly in this regard. Maybe all I want to say is that if it becomes an issue for you, you're not alone, and I encourage you to pick your battles, so to speak, and try to continue to show love toward everyone in your family, even if you're not seeing eye to eye. The last group of people we're going to discuss, I'm going to call the others of the others. In other words, the last people on the list. First, let's talk about your neighbors. Personally, I kind of like my privacy, so I don't mind being just a little bit distant from my neighbors, but I probably err too much that way. I encourage you to love on your neighbors, invite them to your church, and try to help them when you can. How about the people you'll never meet? I think we should be aware of those who are outside of our immediate world, and one way to do that is just to pray for those who are in need, even if you'll never meet them, or even if you don't know them by name. And the last group of others I thought about sharing was the people that are unplanned introductions that happen to us every day. I just encourage you to keep your head up and look around you, because I believe that God puts people across our path every day. These are people who need to hear from us and be loved by us. So that's it for today's video. Our short-term action step today is to call up an extended family member that you haven't heard from or spoken to in a long time this week, and just find out how they're doing. Don't be afraid to tell them that you went to Promise Keepers, even if you think they might not think much of that. But don't open up with a fire hose about your experience either. For a long-term action item this month, start looking around for the people that God is putting across your path. Next time you pump gas or wait in line at the grocery store, start up a conversation and be ready to pray for someone or share with them about Jesus. That's it for now. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.